Well, the finances of southern Europe have been in the news all year long as the centre and source of the continent's debt crisis. But what's the situation away from Greece and Spain, up in northern Europe? Well, we sent our economics editor David Tweed to find out personally, and now he's back from his quest to report his findings. David.
Hi, Lindsay. Yeah, I started the whole trip here in St Pancras Station in London, and I headed straight over to Belgium via Liege. Now, Belgium, of course, is having an economic rebound from this big contraction, 3.1% in 2009, unemployment rising about 8.6%. But the real issue for Belgium, it's this number here, 99%, a debt-to-GDP ratio approaching 100%, and they haven't had a government since June when they had the election.
Belgium's countryside, not as peaceful as it looks. The nation hasn't been able to form a government for 2 months. And at a time when markets are skittish about sovereign debt, that's a problem when you've got total borrowings approaching 100% of national output. The country's divided by tensions between the Dutch-speaking Flemish and the French speakers. The richer Flemish resent paying for the francophones. Wallonia is looking to make a renaissance with a plan to become a logistics centre for Europe. And we're about to arrive in Liège, which was once the industrial powerhouse of Wallonia, and its Santiago Calatrava designed railway station, which is the centrepiece of the rejuvenation plan. But this is extraordinary. Look at this vaulted ceiling. It's quite breathtaking. Liège station opened last year. At more than 300 million euros, it cost as much as the world's biggest passenger airplane. The dome soars above me. Its 5 platforms snake into the sky. But I can't help thinking, why does a city like Liège, population less than 200,000, need a station that looks more suited to an international capital? And that's what I asked Bernard PIETTE, who helps run logistics in Wallonia's 5-part rejuvenation plan.
This station will last for maybe 100 years or something like that. So I think it's really an investment, and more of it has really been becoming a symbol of the renewal of the city.
Do you think it's a popular thing here in Liège?
I think many people complain. Many people say, "Is it really good?" But I think really at the bottom of their soul, I would say they are proud of it. Definitely.
So I guess Liège is playing to its strengths. Its shiny airport for freight is Europe's 8th largest, and it's got the 3rd biggest river port in the region. Back in town, not many signs of urban renewal around the station. But I suppose the proof of the pudding is what local business thinks about it. Broadcast equipment maker EVS is one of Belgium's fastest growing companies.
With the decline of the steel industry, obviously, Liège has had a lot of troubles, and now it's recovering. It takes time, but the city is evolving rapidly. There is a strong dynamics in the city, and it's very positive.
Maybe plans for rejuvenation will bear fruit, and Wallonia will need less money from its Flemish neighbours and ease tensions that prevent this country from uniting and advancing into the future.
All right, well, David Tweed joins me now. David, tell us about this situation with the government in Belgium. Are they any closer to forming a government?
No, they're not, actually. They're going to start their negotiations again today. They've had a week's holiday, and then they've got Ilya de Rupo. He's the guy who's the leader of the French-speaking parties, He's managing the entire negotiation, and he's been charged with coming up with a solution by Friday in a report that he's got to give to the King. And if they can't reach an agreement by Friday, which will be 2 months after the last elections, the whole thing will be considered as a failure, and they'll have to start the entire process all over
What
again.
are they fighting about, David?
Well, it's about this idea of actually splitting the powers, taking the federal powers of Belgium and devolving them to the regions. That would include things like social security, and that's a problem for the French speakers because they're taking a bigger part of the social security pie, proportionately speaking. So what would happen is that the Belgian state, the federal government, would end up with just, you know, defence and diplomacy. And in fact, you know, the joke in Belgium at the moment is that Belgium as a federal state would become no more than a website with a king.
What does it all mean for the country's budget? I mean, surely all this arguing isn't
This is the issue.
good
This
for the
is
economy.
the issue. They've got a budget deficit. Some people think it's going to rise more than actually it's forecast to do. As I mentioned, it's got the third largest debt to GDP, total debt to GDP in the European Union. So if they can't actually get their acts together and form a government, then they can't actually take the steps that they need to take in order to reach their goal of balancing the budget by 2015.
Let's go back to that train station in Liege. What do people think about that?
They love it. They love it.
It does seem very incongruous in that small town, doesn't it?
It's like a spaceship's just landed in the middle of it. But, you know, some people are concerned about how much it costs, but deep down you get this real sense that they absolutely love it and they're quite proud of it. And
what's tomorrow,
you know, the
David?
whole region. Tomorrow we go to the Netherlands, we go to Rotterdam.
Fantastic. We look forward to that.